What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome into NYJ today. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down some of the information and some of the news clippings that have been released to us about Zach Wilson and his awesome leadership, starting from the moment that he was drafted, leading all the way up to this weekend's rookie minicamp. Let's get after it. Real quick, I just want to say happy Mother's Day to everybody, and I also want to remind you that we do live stream every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Come hang out with us, come talk with us. You can comment in the chat. You can also call into the show live, and if you're not really into calling into a show live, you can leave us a voicemail. The number is on the screen. We would love to hear from you guys. Just let us know what your name is, where you're calling from, and what's on your mind. So on draft night, when the pick was finally announced, I would say a lot of Jets fans were really fired up by the pick. I think that a lot of people had watched film on him, watched highlights of him, looked at his stats, seen him in interviews, and saw a kid that really had a lot of talent and seemed to be a potential leader for a franchise. But I would be honest with you, I would be lying if I said that I had read enough about him as far as what he did or how he carried himself off the field, how he carried himself with his teammates. And I came away very, very impressed. The more I've read about him, the more that I've been reading online about Zach Wilson, his leadership really does stand out. And on these next few segments, I'm just going to be putting a clipping from an article that I read, a couple of them. One of them notably was from the New York Daily News. DJ Bieniemy wrote the article. If you're not familiar with him, he's a great follow on Twitter, guys. He is the new New York Daily News reporter. And the article was absolutely fantastic, and so I will be including that in the description. I will include the link to that article. So I think that this clipping does an awesome job of highlighting that this kid is not afraid of a challenge and did not back down from the challenge that he faced in college. So I'm just going to read the clipping again. This comes from the New York Daily News from DJ Bieniemy. It says, on the night of Zach Wilson's 21st birthday, he and his girlfriend, Abby Guile, returned to the apartment he shared with childhood friend Braden Cosper. BYU's fall camp would begin the next day, and Wilson was facing down a quarterback competition after injuries led to a subpar 2019 season. The night would be Wilson's last chance to relax for the foreseeable future. Cooper was in the living room when the couple returned and asked what they had been up to for Wilson's birthday. The couple had been at BYU's practice field with Guile reading every play on the practice script, and Wilson visualized his cadences and processed his reads to imaginary receivers weaving through imaginary defenses. So first of all, I love that the missus or his girlfriend is involved. That's awesome that she supports his, craziness and his addiction to football. And again, this just shows the dedication that he has. And this isn't necessarily an example of his leadership, but it really does show that he is devoted to football and again is willing to do and sacrifice his own time to be excellent at his craft. And again, if you're going to be a great leader as a quarterback, you need to know and understand what you're doing in order to be able to dictate to the other teammates what they need to be doing. And this is just an awesome example of that. Another really cool clipping from the same article from the New York Daily News and DJ Bieniemy. BYU offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick remembers waking up at 3 a.m. to use the bathroom on a team flight. The team was flying back to Utah after a tough 17-22 loss to Coastal Carolina. This is a game that a lot of people talk about as far as a knock for Zach Wilson. Most of the team was asleep as Roderick lumbered through the plane, but he noticed a player staring into an iPad. It was Wilson, watching Rodgers' film, trying to think how to emulate the league MVP and improve his game. So again, this is showing that he's just not going to be ever satisfied with his performance. Even after a tough loss, he's not going to get down on himself. He's just going to continue to work and better himself. And again, I love the fact that he's a little bit of a film junkie here. He really enjoys that process of watching and learning and just continuously improving and changing his game. And we heard that from Steve Young. We heard from Steve Young in an interview by BYU TV Sports that this guy loves the grind of studying film and just watching and learning how to analyze their own play, but also the defense and what they're showing. It just is an awesome thing to hear and to see from our quarterback. I don't recall ever hearing anything quite like this about Sam Darnold, so it's okay to be excited about things like this, even though it is coming from a newspaper article. There were times when practice would finish around 5:30 p.m. Wilson would shower, grab his food, and head to the quarterback room to watch film till 11 p.m. BYU coaches would have to tell him to go home. I've never seen anything like it. He made me a better coach because every day I was afraid to go into meetings and have him know more than I did about an opponent, Roderick said. With Zach Wilson, you can't just show up at meetings unprepared, ever. I had to always stay one step ahead of him. He's the only player I've ever coached that was that big of a challenge for me to stay ahead of him on game planning on opponent film. So I just love the fact that, again, just finding a way to get better, finding a way to attack a defense. This is clearly one of the things that we can come to expect with Zach Wilson. And I just hope that, that this hunger that he has, that he had, I should say, in college continues and that it grows only in the NFL. We know some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Most notably, I would say Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. Those guys just devoured film and just countless hours spending time learning about their opponents and trying to figure out the best way to attack them and to limit mistakes on the field. And so I'm just very, very hopeful that Zach Wilson, will continue to do this as he continues his career with the New York Jets. So Zach Wilson got drafted 2nd overall, and it would have been very, very easy for him to just relax, the next couple of days, not really pay attention to the NFL draft. It's pretty common that a lot of these guys will not really watch the NFL draft, but Zach Wilson was watching the whole thing, and he was texting and reaching out to all of these players that the Jets were drafting right away. He wasn't wasting any time. And again, that shows the leadership. That shows the fire that he has to be a great football player and a great player for the New York Jets. So he reached out to Elijah Moore, our wide receiver that we selected, 34th overall. He wrote me on social media, said he was pumped, Moore said. And he then texted me and said how fired up he was. Just by talking to him on the phone, I could tell he's a general. His passion came out through the phone. And think about, for a long time now, the Jets have just been one of those lifeless franchises, no identity, no passion for the game. And I think that with Zach, we can expect maybe the opposite. Our team is going to be fired up to play because of him. He's going to be inspiring the others around him to play their best and to meet their highest potential. And I think that's what's so exciting to read when you read these quotes from Elijah Moore. These are some quotes that I read from Michael Carter, our running back that we drafted in the 4th round from UNC. This kid really spoke very highly of Zach Wilson, and he said, "The more I talk to him, I can see what the people say about him, about his energy," Carter said of Wilson. "He's unafraid to speak up, and he's a genuine person in terms of leadership. People want to follow people who want the best for them. I can tell that right off the bat." And in simpler terms, basically, he knows that Zach Wilson wants him to succeed. He knows that he wants Elijah Moore to be successful. He wants Elijah Vera Tucker to be successful. Mekhi Becton, Michael Carter, Denzel Mims. I mean, the names go on and on and on. He wants all of his teammates to have success so that he can also have success. And so at the end of the day, we know we have a captain now. We have a general. And that's the thing that gets me so fired up. And again, it's not really a knock on Sam Darnold. I'm not going to sit here and bash him. But I feel like as the quarterback, it's your job to call people out, to be the general, to be the captain of the offense. You have to direct people as the quarterback, and you can't just be, a guy that leads by example. I don't think that's enough at the quarterback position. In my opinion, I don't believe that it is. I think that you have to be able to ignite the offense, to ignite the players around you, get them fired up and ready and focused to play a really solid football game. And I'm just super pumped about this and super pumped to be hearing all of these things. And I hope you guys are excited about it too. So in conclusion, I feel like we now have a quarterback that is going to be able to feel confident to have not only the relationships built with his teammates so that they trust him when he calls them out, but it's going to be one of those situations where they're going to want him to call them out. They're going to want him to captain the team. And I feel like, again, with Sam Darnold, how many times did we ever really see him directing people after plays where there were miscues, where he went to a receiver or to an offensive lineman and said, no, you did this wrong. This is actually what you're supposed to be doing on this play and on this look when the defense shows this coverage. And again, you didn't really see that from him. And so moving forward, I feel very confident in saying that I believe Zach Wilson will be able to do that and will even be able to do it as a rookie coming into the NFL, coming from BYU. I think that he's going to have the mental fortitude that it takes to direct an offense, to lead a team, to lead the offense into scoring some points. So again, just super fired up, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about Zach Wilson as a leader. The things that we've been reading, I think, are just super encouraging. So let me know what you guys have to say about Zach Wilson. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching NYJ Today. Guys, if you could do me a favor and jet up the like button on this video, and if you're new here and you've enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. We love interacting with you guys. We hope to see you in the comments. Go Jets! See you guys next time.